Well, for anyone's interested in what they're drinking, if you're a tea drinker, here's everything you never needed to know about tea. It's actually quite a quick process. They only pick the top of the plant, the top 3 leaves. Center leaf is sprouting, the 2 on the side. Everything else is just allowed to grow. They pick it in the afternoon and throughout the morning. It's weighed in the afternoon when the ladies get paid, and then it's taken into the factory. And immediately it's put out on drying racks. I think he told me about 1,300 kilos or something. They're like 100-foot long racks. And they actually want to dry it during the night as the temperatures drop. That particular plantation I left is over 4,000 feet. He said the cooler temperatures are better, so that's why they immediately start the process. From there, by morning time, it's dry. It's reduced the weight of the moisture. From there, it's set down to a press and a roller. It rolls it and presses it. And what they're trying to do is roll just the top third of the leaf off of it. And that'll drop down into a sorting bin. And then they'll add some more pressure. They've got time scales, he showed me, and it's all done manually. And then they'll press it a little bit harder, which starts to get the lower part of the leaf to roll off the stems. And then the stems are crushed with more pressure, and eventually all that stuff goes down a conveyor to a sorting rack that has screens where they sort out the different sizes. The crushing, it starts the fermentation, and it's heated up at that time. I think around 200 degrees or something, he told me. And that starts the fermentation process. The fermentation process is quite quick. It's only a matter of hours. The stuff they were picking last night was already through the processing plant when I was there at around 2 o'clock. It was already being bagged. So they heat it up to start the fermentation, and then it's moved over to a dryer, which stops the fermentation. And from there, it's separated. And actually, the top tips are considered the best quality, and the stems the least quality. If you like a really black, dark tea, you're drinking a lot of stems. The top is a real light, almost watery looking tea. It's got only a slight color to it. I actually don't like it. I prefer something dark and more rich. And he says that'll be a combination of if you're getting a premium tea, it's a combination of the premium tops and a mix of the lower grade of stems and that added to it to give you a more stronger flavor, black tea, which is what I prefer. But I was amazed at how quickly the process is. The very tips are quite expensive. I think there was around $20 for 100 or 150 grams, which is not a lot. It's quite expensive. But yeah, I found I actually like a little bit lower grade. You've probably seen boxes that say Pico tea. I think it's Pekoe. That's actually considered one of the more higher end grades. Not quite as dark, and to me just didn't have as much flavor. They had tea tasting at the end. So I tried a few different teas, and then he directed me over if I wanted to buy any. So I bought more tea at the factory than I'll probably drink in the next couple months, but I drink a lot of tea. I probably drink 4 or 5 cups every morning. So yeah, it was really interesting. The factory smells incredible. A lot of the machinery in there, I bet it's 100 years old. A lot of the stuff has been there for a long time, but now they have sorting machines that use, I don't know if it's lasers or whatever. It can detect the different colors, so it can separate the tea as it goes through these dryers at the end and put it into different crates, and from there it's sorted out on a sorting table. And yeah, very interesting process, but I was surprised at how quickly. What they were processing last night will be in Colombo in the next day or two in the auction houses, and the tea is moved very rapidly from the field and processed and taken to the auction houses in Colombo, which is the capital of Sri Lanka. The higher the altitude, he said, the better the quality of the tea. Lowland tea fetches a lower price. Also, green tea is unfermented, and though they always try and tell you green tea is better for you, he did not agree. He said the biological reaction of fermentation actually releases more of the different ingredients and what are considered beneficial to your health, the antioxidants and everything, than green tea. Green tea is a lot less processed than the black tea. There's no fermentation to it. And he said that's why most people consider a black tea a better flavor and quality of tea. So, and what did he tell me? I think for every 5 kilos of leaf that come in, they end up with like 1 kilo of black tea. So anyway, there's everything you probably ever didn't need to know about tea production and where it comes from. And Sri Lanka is considered some of the best. Oh, well, if you look at a box, it will say Ceylon, because this place used to be called Ceylon. If you're drinking Lipton tea, if you're drinking Twinings, you're definitely drinking Ceylon tea. If you end up with tea that has a lot of pieces of stems and everything in it, it's pretty low quality. It's not processed very well. Anyway, cheers from Sri Lanka.